Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is day 6 and advice for Ramadan number 5. And today I would just like to focus briefly on one of the important aspects of Ramadan, in that Allah describes the purpose of Ramadan and why He prescribed it for people before, whether it's the followers of Jesus, the followers of Moses, etc. He said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, in order that you would grow in the consciousness of Allah, that you would develop this consciousness of Allah, which should guide you through your life, through the various struggles, difficulties, good times, etc., relationships. Everything should be guided by this consciousness that we're supposed to develop in Ramadan, as well as outside of Ramadan, because there's so many other things that he also linked, the Prophet ﷺ linked to the consciousness of Allah, because in the end, this is where reality lies. This is where the deen becomes real. The religion of Islam becomes a living faith when it is based on the actual consciousness of Allah, as opposed to ritual acts, where we just do habitual, customary, and ritual acts, which are supposed to be Islam. They're supposed to be from the teachings of Islam, but the goal was not these acts themselves. Just like the Salah, for example, in Ramadan, we do have a lot connected to Salah, whether it's our 5 times daily Salah, and then we have the tahajjud at night. We are calling it Taraweeh. This was additional prayers. The goal is not those prayers themselves. The goal is an increase in our awareness of Allah. It is and should be a means by which we get closer to Allah. After the prayers, we should feel something. We should feel a change, a movement, a consciousness, to be touched. So this connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is supposed to help us throughout the year. And one of the ways that we help ourselves remember Allah is what we refer to as dhikrullah. Words by which we remember Allah. And the Prophet ﷺ has prescribed for us different words of praise of Allah, which we may say on various different occasions in the forms of du'as or exclamations, etc. But just the regular one, which we do each day after our daily prayers, where we say Subhanallah 33 times, Alhamdulillah 33 times, and Allahu Akbar 34 times. Subhanallah meaning that we glorify Allah above what has been falsely attributed to Him. We glorify Him recognizing that He is free from any deficiencies which we as human beings may attribute to Him. Like when we ask ourselves or we ask others, why isn't Allah hearing me? No. He hears us. Why isn't Allah helping me? No, He's helping us. Why isn't Allah doing this for the Muslims who are suffering and so on, so on, so on? He is. But you can't see how He's doing it. And simply because you can't see, it doesn't mean He isn't. It just means you can't see. So, when we say Subhanallah, we are elevating Him in our psyche, in our minds, above all that has been negatively and falsely attributed to Him, including having a son, becoming a man, dying, and all the other things that we find in Christianity, repenting in Judaism. They have God repenting for what He thought to do to the people of Israel. These kinds of negative attributes which are not befitting for God. When we say Subhanallah, we are affirming that. Not just on the theoretical level, but even for ourselves, because that's really where it's most important, that we remove from our minds any deficiencies that we might attribute to Him in our thought. Allah is not hearing me. He's not answering me. He's not helping me. He's not. No. We clear our minds of that and recognize that He is there. He's always there. He hears, He sees, He understands, and He does what is best for us. Alhamdulillah, of course, is all praise, all thanks is due to Allah. And we need to be constantly remembering the favors that He has bestowed on us in our lives. That's why our daily prayers begin with Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. Those are the very first words of our daily prayers. Alhamdulillah. And we need to say it on a regular basis. Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater than anything in this world, anything in creation. He is greater. He is able to make possible the impossible. When we try to find excuses for doing what is displeasing to Him because we say there's no other way, we don't have it, no, there is another way. We just need to be patient. Remember, Allah is greater. He's greater than our bosses, who may be telling us to do things which are displeasing to Allah. And we don't want to lose our jobs, so we go along with it. But no, Allah is greater than our boss. He is the one who provides for us through our boss, through the companies we work for, etc., etc. He is Akbar. He is the greatest, greater than all. So these words of remembrance we call dhikrullah, that are said after the prayer, they should be said with reflection. To say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, and Allahu Akbar with reflection, this is what we are encouraged to do after our daily prayers. However, for most of us, either we have a string of beads and we're just, running through the beads one at a time, but very quickly, and maybe our lips are moving or we might be actually counting it. We may have a counter, or we might be actually counting it, with our fingertips, right? But when we're doing it, like with our hands like this, as if we, have some form of seizure or some form of, dementia or whatever. Our hands were just flipping as if we're unable to control it. It's better for us, advice this Ramadan, just to say Subhanallah 10 times, Alhamdulillah 10 times, Allahu Akbar 10 times, but just say it, Subhanallah, 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 Alhamdulillah, 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 Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And not Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allah, 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 Allah. This is useless. That is totally useless. That has no benefit. Allah will not reward us for it, regardless of our intention. Maybe He won't punish us for distorting His names, saying them in such slurred and distorted and crippled ways, because we were ignorant. So He excused what we did. But there's no reward. Because where is remembrance of Allah there? We're just trying to finish off these numbers very quickly. We have 33 to say. So we want to finish it all off in 1 minute. So how do you do that? You have to say that's what you have to do. And this isn't the deen. It has become the deen for so many of us. We never even thought about it. It's just what everybody else did. That's what our fathers did, what our grandfathers did, our uncles, our aunts, or everybody's doing the same thing. So we assume that this is what we do. But this is a month in which we should reflect. A time while we're fasting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, trying to remember Him, we need to reflect on all that we're doing. Because either we're doing something which is beneficial, which will be added to our scale of good deeds, or we're doing something which is useless, no value, wasting our time, rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or we end up doing something which is evil, put on our scale of evil deeds, will come back to face us and destroy us on the Day of Judgment. May Allah protect us from the last two and help us to remember Him as He deserves to be remembered. To remember Him with our hearts, our minds, our ears, our eyes, all that is us. May Allah help us to remember Him in this month. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.